Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Hawk Talk. I am your host, Colin Cole, and today is a very special day because I got, of course, my resident co-host, Mr. Porter, who I've talked about a number of times, being our resident 3-year starter at right tackle, 2-year All Big Ten, the real estate guru in Chicago. I said, David, I said I wasn't going to continue to do this, man, but I kind of fallen into it. But anyways, we got David here with us. And we also have a special guest who is joining us today on today's show. He's going to lend us some of his expertise, some of his knowledge on the program as well. Mr. Jonathan Babineaux, welcome to the show, sir.
Welcome. What's up, Big C? What's up, DP, baby?
What's going on, Babs? How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I can't complain. If I complain, I just get in line with everybody else.
There you have it. And he's fully Hawkeye down. He's embarrassing me really right now. I got to do a lot better job of making sure that my background is more Hawkeye than what it is currently. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. We're gonna ride with what we got. It's all good. Anyways, let's jump right into it, man. We got the matchup coming up this week. The Hawkeyes are playing host to the Nevada Wolfpack. The Wolfpack are a Mountain West team, and one of those teams that like to throw the ball around. But before we get to them, let's talk a little bit about them Hawkeyes. Last week, we talked a bit about some of the great things we've seen so far this season, especially in that game against Iowa State. We saw a sophomore defensive lineman, let's speak on it, David, defensive lineman Luke Van Ness blocked two punts.
Mm-hmm.
That's tying a school record right there. He tied a school record for sixth all time in terms of doing that right there. Luke Van Ness, shout out to that young man. Did a tremendous job. Iowa's scoring defense has given up just one touchdown, 6.5 average points through the first two games. That's a pretty impressive stat right there. That ranks them sixth nationally amongst defenses. So we got to take our hats off to that Hawkeye defense, who is in the top 10, one of the top 10 defenses in FBS in this country right now. Tremendous job by this team currently. Senior linebacker Jack Campbell is 2 tackles shy of reaching the 200 career tackle mark. Campbell's 79th in school history with his 198 career tackles currently. That kid out of Cedar Falls, man, has been a tremendous player. So far, he has got a cumulative of 21 tackles this season through those 2 games. So we're looking to see Jack Campbell go ahead and break that mark and get into that 200 tackle mark. 3 Hawkeye defenders last week: Jack, Seth Benson, and cash linebacker / DB Cooper DeJean have posted double-digit tackles games in this season. So all 3 of those guys have been balling, have done a tremendous job. Iowa has blocked 3 punts in the regular season so far. So special teams, we've talked about this a number of times. Coach LeVar Woods and what that special teams means to this team. One of the 3 pillars of this team, obviously offensive, defensive, but special teams has long been one of the cornerstones of this team, and has continued to big up and do a tremendous job. Let's stick with the theme of special teams. Junior punter Torrey Taylor is averaging 48.9 yards on 16 punts through the first 2 games of the season. 48.9 yard average. That's half the field that he is averaging in punt yardage through 2 games this season. So he is preseason All-American for a reason, and he's continuing to show why he has that honor, and he's a tremendous asset for the Hawkeye team, and we all know that. We've been calling that for the last year, so we know what he brings to the table. Let's move on. Mr. 100, senior tight end Sam Laporta caught his 100th career pass against those Cyclones last Saturday night. He has a career high actually with 8 receptions for 55 yards in that competition, in that contest. Obviously the Hawks fell short, but that young man has seen his Iowa career reach very good heights, huge heights. Iowa's defense forced 3 turnovers against Iowa State via a forced fumble and 2 interceptions. So we've talked about this defense. It continues to do its thing. As a matter of fact, Iowa's defense is 4th nationally in the red zone at 500%, 6th in total defense nationally, and scoring defense, respectively. 14th in passing yards allowed, 15th in first down defense, and 27th in rushing defense, 33rd in sacks. So the defense, David, Jonathan, has national rankings has done some tremendous things thus far this season, picking up a lot from what it's done last season. However, the Hawks still sit at a 1-1 mark. We know what we're talking about here. The Hawkeyes are playing clean football, averaging just 3 penalties for 20 yards over the first 2 games. So the Hawks are doing some tremendous things. There are some tremendous things to look into to see what they're doing as a whole, as a team. Obviously, we're not in the position where we want to be record-wise. However, this team is continuing to build, is doing some good things currently. So let's jump into it, fellas. This week, well, let's start with this. We started off last week talking about, or our last show talking about the situation at quarterback. I'm going to jump right into it. Our quarterback currently has completed 23 passes for 51 attempts for a total of 201 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and has been sacked 3 times. We are talking about statistics. I threw a bunch of them out at you. Majority of them were defensive and special teams. Where does this team go from here? How does this team pick things up and find its footing? I just mentioned Spencer Petras. Let me make sure that I mention our leading rushers thus far this season is LaShawn Williams with 106 total yards off of 38 carries and 1 touchdown. So I'm throwing it out there to both of you guys. What have you seen thus far this season? Whether this team improve going into this week's contest against the Nevada Wolfpack?
Well, it's very clear that this is a defense-led team. I mean, you can see in play out, the just getting at the kids. You know, they rally into the ball. You just see the energy. The energy on the field is so high that it doesn't matter what happens to the defense. They're going to rally around the ball somewhere or another. And this is what's been going on so far. Special teams has come along a lot this season. You know, 2 block punts, as you mentioned. You know, they fell short on the field goal last week, but hey, they've been doing their job for the most part. We just need offense. Not necessarily let's do a quarterback change just yet, because I thought Petras was going to come in this year and play stop. And it looks like the offense really have no rhythm. I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know what it is, but maybe this week we should do something different as far as the offense. Maybe we should go with an up-tempo offense this week to get everybody going, to get everybody moving, get everybody energized about moving fast, doing things quickly, doing things right, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Babs. The offense definitely needs to pick it up. As Colin said, the other phases of the team, the special teams and the defense, they're playing at a level that's really says that we should be competing for a Big Ten championship this year, even possibly. You know, my lofty goal is for us to get the national championship. We have that kind of capability on the other side of the balls and on special teams. You know, Phil Parker and LeVar Woods have done a great job, tremendous job of getting those kids ready to go out there and play with emotion and actually go out there and play with tempo, as you were referred to. The offense is just coming out a little flat right now. Last week we got out and on our first, we got a short field and we scored in the first quarter. I think that was the first time we've done that in a long time. So I thought we were going to start to roll, but we started to hit some speed bumps, and then once we got thrown off our rhythm, you can see how the game kind of progressed. We just kind of one thing led to another, and we just never got the momentum back. Our biggest chance for improvement is obvious for everybody to see. It's going to be in the offense, and there's so many different things going on in the offense at the same time, from the receivers to the O-line to the quarterback. Heck, we got a fumbling problem with the running backs here. I don't want to call it a problem anymore, but we've had 2 fumbles right now in the first 2 games of the season. One came at a really, really poor time for us. So, and that one was a big switch that led to a 99-yard drive, 21 plays that took, 11 and a half minutes, like game minutes. That's a long time for a defense to be up on the field. And as the season goes on, our defense, as good as they are, they cannot continue to take those kind of hits and take those many reps out there on the field. There's just only so much you can do. And these, they're human, just like all of us. It all just adds up. And I know we're really early in the season, so if we can get that stuff corrected now, it'll pay dividends for us later on the season.
Yes, I would agree. It's definitely some areas that need to be. Everybody has to come along, especially on that side of the ball. I will say that I am actually in a position of the thinking, Babs, that it's hard for a team. You got 11 players that are on the field. You depend on each other, obviously, to make plays, obviously, to carry along things. We see how Michigan has handled their two quarterback situation. It's a little bit different situation where both of them are playing well, but they have given both of them the opportunity. I don't see why this offense can't give both of them the opportunity. I feel as though Alex Padilla has shown himself in live game action as being able to be a capable quarterback. So I think that a couple of things we talked about here. Up tempo is a way of giving the offense an opportunity to get some rhythm, force some rhythm for themselves, and really get things going for themselves. But I do also think that giving the backup quarterback an opportunity, and Alex Padilla is all it does is really breed competition. And oftentimes, I think we all know that competition oftentimes brings out the best in players. So I think that giving the opportunity to Alex is a great choice, whether it be second quarter, third quarter, or wherever they deem the best place to kind of implant him, give him an opportunity. But I think it would behoove this team to not look at trying to do that. At least give an opportunity to the back of Alex Padilla. Moving right along, I looked at some of these stats, man. It's a sad thing to look at. If you guys look at the top to bottom, the Big Ten, Iowa ranks at the bottom. I don't even want to say close to. I would say at the bottom of every statistical category on offense currently, whether that be rushing, passing, total, all of the above. So giving an opportunity to give a spark to the offense by plugging somebody else in there to give them opportunity, I think it would behoove this offense to do, man. So that aside, what did we see, Jonathan? What have you seen out of this rushing attack that we can kind of hang our hats on? We know that game one, it wasn't necessarily clicking like we've seen the Hawkeye zone scheme click in the past. But game two, they got in the end zone. So what do we need to see from this offense to continue to grow and for that ground game to really start taking hold and doing what we're used to seeing it do?
Well, Dave Porter know it best. You got to have grit. You know, you got to go out there and dominate your man every single play. Hey, if you get out of line somehow, figure out a way to win that battle during that fight. You know, it's an ongoing battle. It's 11 on 11. It's a lot of people having one-on-one battles, but somebody got to win. And we got to win more than our opponents. And, we just got to run downhill. Just hit them in the mouth like we used to do back in the day. And that's how we show our grit and we show our tenacity. Coming downhill, baby, having fun. Hey, y'all remember, man, when I was a freshman in college? Hey, 220, 6'2", fullback. Making holes for Liddell.
Was that what it was?
And I had fun doing it, but I knew that wasn't where my career wanted me to go.
I know that's right. I might have had to put the pads on you a couple of times to tell you to come on over to the side of the box.
Hey. Well, I knew right away I wasn't gonna last long on offense. I was like, Coach, you're gonna have to switch me over. but listen, y'all two know how hard we practice day in and day out while we're Hawkeyes. Right? 9 on 7. If Coach fans didn't like the way 9 on 7 was ran, guess what? We starting the whole drill over again from top to bottom. I don't care. It doesn't matter. We was on the last play. We're gonna start it over from top to bottom. And maybe that's something that needs to happen at practice. Get Coach to challenge them a little bit more. I know Brian got his hands full right now. Trying to get the rhythm, trying to get respect of his players, people playing for him. We just got to go out there and compete as a family and have fun doing it. This is why we're at the University of Iowa. This is why we got this opportunity, because the people at the top believed in us. And so when you're down on your bottom and you're not looking your best, hey, it's time for those guys at the top to push you a little bit harder and a little bit more, and let's see what kind of grit you have.
There it is. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's the truth.
I'm not even gonna toss it to you, Dave. We're gonna get into these Nevada.
No, you gotta toss me after that one. That was perfect.
We're gonna go
Yes,
ahead.
yes. My dude, yes. Yes.
These Nevada Wolfpack coming in from the Mountain West Conference, led by quarterback Shane Illingworth, who is in their. Well, I'm sorry. No. Let me say that correctly. No, he's actually the backup. Nate Cox is the starter. And he's gone 34 for 61 this season with 0 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, and 372 yards. But they do actually employ a 2-quarterback system, which Shane Illingworth actually has some pretty significant stats. He's actually completed 18 of his 25 passes for 152 yards and no touchdowns. So we will see both of these young men coming at us in terms of passing quarterbacks. Toa Tawa as their starting senior running back, and he's actually gone 60. He's actually carried the ball 61 times for 252 yards and a total of 3 touchdowns on the season. He's backed up by Devontae Lee and Nate Cox, who all 3 have kind of formed a trio of backs for this offense that has been a pretty strong force to lead them to a 2-1 mark. The leading receiver Jamal Bell has caught 90. Let me see. Get that correct. He's caught 14. He's only caught 14 passes for 97 yards with no touchdowns. BJ Castile, he's caught 7 catches for 95 yards and 1 tug. DeLavion Campbell has caught 4 catches for 82 yards. And Toa Tawa is their 4th leading receiver, who's their back, who's caught a number of balls, actually caught 8 balls out of the backfield for 81 yards and also a touchdown. So they employ an offensive attack that has done a tremendous job throughout their season. And, even though they're at 2-1 mark, their last game, I believe they scored almost 55 points. So they're a team that can put points up on the board and as a strong overall group. They're led defensively by Tyson Williams, who actually has 15 tackles on the season, 1 sack and an interception. Tyreek Mack is another standout who also has 15 tackles. And so they, I think they're going to be a bit of a running. I won't say running. They're going to be a Mountain West team, right? They're used to handling. They're used to dealing with a lot of passing. They're used to dealing with a lot of spread out type of offense. We know what they do out west in terms of just how they play ball quite a bit differently. So, gentlemen, with all that I've given you, let's start with you first, David. How do the Hawkeyes? How do they mount this and turn their season around and get back in the winning column? But along with that, how does this offense find its footing? And is this the team to find their footing against?
Well, one, I think it is the team to find the footing against, right? It's a team. I'm going to say we're the overwhelming favorites to win this. Like the odds are 90% that I was going to win this game, and this team kind of plays into our hands pretty well. Their defense is very good. Their offense is going to do a spread offense, which plays into the hands of our defense. Our 7 guys in the middle, they're going to do what they do, stop up that run. Our DBs are going to do what they do. They're going to blanket everything, right? So I expect our defense to do a really good job getting off the field, and our special teams doing a really great job pinning these guys too and make them run the whole field, right? And that offense for Nevada, they are used to scoring. They are used to throwing the ball. I wouldn't be surprised to see a high tempo or a change in tempo from these guys, where they go from a huddle to more of a non-huddle, quick snap situation. So that there may get us going on defense. I would expect us to get a pick or 2 and to get some pressure in the backfield to help stop that offense from moving the ball. Our offense on the other side, their defense is used to giving up points. I mean, they're giving up how many points? 24, 27 points a game. Mm-hmm. So they have been getting scored on. It should be pretty good for our guys to fire off and to get their run fits. Like Babs was talking about, sometimes you just need to fire off and hit somebody. These guys need to understand how to impose their will against another defensive line. And they're young. They're somewhat inexperienced, especially at that center position. And getting that fit in there and getting their hands in there and actually starting to move somebody I think that'll bode well, especially for their confidence, which I shouldn't say I know they need that boost right now. From what I'm reading and what I'm seeing, the offense actually started to apologize to the defense after the game for their play. We need that to not be the case. So, confidence booster on offense, especially the offensive line. You know how that goes, the O-line and D-line. That's kind of what's going to be the telltale of the game. That's how the game is won. We get that O-line performing, closing up some of those holes. I see us. We should win this game, but those are the kind of things we really need to have happen.
So that being said, Jonathan, with this being the next game on the schedule, obviously we know the next game is the most important game. We also know that the Big Ten schedule is a very difficult one. We know that this year in particular is very difficult. So what, if anything, do the Hawks need to look forward to in terms of their season, one way or the other, with the outcome of this game? Is their season lost if they don't win this game? Is their season turned around if this game turns out in their favor? Do you feel like this is a pivotal game for them? What are your thoughts on it?
This is definitely a pivotal game because we all know the next game is the most important game, like you said. This should be a great test for the offense to see where they're at. We're going against a defense that's, mediocre. They're okay. Our offense have been mediocre, okay. So it'll be a good chance for them to go battle some kids that's kind of in the same realm as them, as far as not putting their best foot forward right now. So we'll see which one win the battle as far as our offense versus their defense. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a great challenge for the defense. They sound like they're pretty balanced from the air to the run game. One thing that I noticed over the past 2 weeks, as far as getting pressure to the quarterback, we're not as good as we need to be up front. I think there's a lot of room for improvement. I think we're very stout in the run game. I think that's our strong point right now. But our pass rushers, we got to get to the quarterback. It's too much down the middle. The old bull the guard and the tackle back to the quarterback. That kind of doesn't work anymore. Quarterbacks know in their mind they got 2 seconds to get rid of the ball, and that's it. So your opportunity of getting there, taking a long way isn't going to happen. You got to get to the edge. You got to work your hands and force the quarterback to move. And that's part of the game. The defensive backs, they're going to love that. They won't have to run after these wide receivers all night long and chase them. So guys up front, hey, man, you got to do your job, both run game, pass game, and I guarantee they're going to like where they're going to be heading into the Big Ten next week.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on every aspect of what you're talking about. That's definitely an area on the defensive side I've noticed myself in terms of the defensive front, getting after the quarterback in situational football, knowing what the situations are and being able to take advantage of an offense that may be in a situation where they have to set back so they can pass. We gotta be situationally sound and smart and understand that we can pin our ears back and get on those edges, like you mentioned. So going forward into it, this is week 3 of the season. This is a season is not won or lost in week 3 of your season. However, this feels like a pivotal game for these Hawkeyes. I know that we all want to see a victory, but more than anything, I want to see growth. I would love to see for the offense to find growth. I would love to see the defense and the special teams to take a next step. Definitely want to see who's going to stand up and who's going to take possession of that returner role. I think that they seem like they're still looking for who's going to be that primetime returner. It's kind of similar to how we've had a primetime returner throughout the past. So this team has still got a ways of growth. We're still early on in the season. Currently, we have nowhere but up to go offensively. We have nowhere but up to go. Have all the room in the world to make that happen. And every other facet of the game, we got to pick it up. Everybody's got to pick it up. Everybody's got to make plays. Everybody's got to do what they can to help to contribute to the game's outcomes. So this weekend down there at Duke Slater Field at Kinnick Stadium,
Let's go.
7:30, baby. I'm looking to see what they're able to do against that daunted Wolfpack attack. And so we will all be tuned in, excited and rearing to go. With that being said, I'm Colin Cole, and I want to bring to I appreciate my guests for joining, and Jonathan Babineaux, my resident co-host, David Porter. Thank you for taking the time. We appreciate you guys for coming on. And thank you guys for watching. God bless and go Hawks.
Go Hawks, baby. Let's roll.